In this tutorial, I thought we'll talk about the linear sketch pattern. Now, for simplicity, we're going to focus on just two concepts of this command. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't already, check out our previous video. We tried to design the face helmet of the Iron Man suit. It was quite interesting. Alright, with that said, we're going to design a cuboid with the dimensions of 150 by 150 with a width of 15. Right, I'm sure we know how to go about the design by now. So what we do is we dimension it, give it 150. Okay, 150 that side. That other dimension has to be 150. Okay, so we extrude it and we give it a width of 15 millimeters. Right, so what we do is in the corner of the square we draw a circle with a radius of 10 millimeters and we cut a hole using the extruded cut design. So I'm sure we know what the procedure is for now. Okay, now let's say we wanted to cut 15 more holes, something like this. What do? It will be a bit tedious for us to start designing this over and over again. So this is where the linear pattern design command comes in. Okay, so we try to locate it. Okay, let's see if we can paint this before we try to locate the linear pattern design. I guess this is something I'm trying to do, something maybe that may come and help us. Okay, right, doesn't seem to work. So we locate the linear pattern on our command manager. We click on it, and just as soon as we click on it, you'll be able to see something that happens to the design tree. Alright, you can see there's a direction 1 and there's also direction 2. Now what that says is it wants us to select the edge in which our pattern will go, the two edges if you will. So you can select that one edge, and then immediately I select another edge. Both directions are filled, so you can go for the features and faces. In this case, the feature 1 to pattern is the hole. We can select the hole, and then we can reverse a direction. Okay, we can play around with the dimensions and the distances based on specifications for question, but it's easier for us once we pattern and seed, because that gets rid of everything else other than the holes in the two edges. It's easier to work with holes like that. Okay, so we can play around with the dimensions based on the specifications of your exam or your question. Okay, we can play around depending on what we want. We can go with as many holes as we possibly want. We can try to space them, and then we can unselect the pattern seed, and then we can see what we have now. Those are the holes that once we select to be able to be cut. Right now, in the event there's a specific hole that I do not want to cut, okay, you can just go down, and then we can select the instances to skip. So you can select on the purple lines, then we can select the skip instance. It will give us the option to skip a specific hole if we do not want it to be cut a specific part of the design if we do not want a hole to be cut in there. Okay, we can select OK, and there we go. Okay, sounds good. Alright, so we're going to select a new design, and this time we're going to design a cylinder with dimensions of 150. That's the diameter, and the width is going to be 60 millimeters. And on it, just like the previous one, we're going to drill a hole, cut a hole of radius 25, diameter 25 rather. Alright, so let's do this. Okay, so it's supposed to have 60 millimeters. Okay, right, so on that hole, select normal tool, go for a hole, circle, there we go. Dimension it, supposed to have a radius of 12.5. Okay, we can extrude the cut. It's supposed to be a through and through hole. Select OK. So in this case, we're dealing with something which is circular. So down the linear pattern, there's a drop down line that was supposed to select. Okay, then we go for the circular pattern. We select it. Okay, so as you can see, automatically the features and faces have already been selected. So we just select the face, and then yet again we can play around with the dimensions and the distances and how many holes we have, again depending on the specifications of your design or your question or your exam. Okay, we can just play around as much as we want. We can, yes, it's not very different from the linear design. The difference is obviously it's circular. Okay, I'm just trying to play around with the angles and see how it works. Okay, you can try to go that way. Alright, that seems okay. And yet again, just like with the previous one, we can actually maybe be able to skip some holes in the event we don't want them to be there. Same procedure. We go down, instances to skip. Yeah, just like that. Okay, then we can just select OK. Now I feel with this little design, it will really help us when we try to deal with more complex equations or complex designs, not equations. Alright, thank you very much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe, do all the good stuff.